Earth's total destruction is closer than ever. So what do we make of the hysteria? Alex Epstein is the author of Fossil Future. Steve Milloy is a senior fellow at the Energy and Environmental Legal Institute, and both are here with us tonight. Good to see you guys. Alex, your response to the doomsday clock and the idea that fossil fuels are going to soon destroy the planet?
Well, it's an interesting question of how they're measuring doom, because if you measure doom by human life is getting worse, it's the opposite of doom. The planet keeps getting to be a better and better place for human beings to live. Now, as we see, sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold. It's actually more often too cold. Far more people die of cold than of heat. But fortunately, we have amazing fossil fuels to heat us when it's cold, to cool us when it's warm, and to build this amazing infrastructure that makes life amazing. So they're not thinking about the planet from a human perspective. They're thinking about it from a human impact is evil perspective.
Right. Steve, we've talked on this show before about the warming planet, which you've laid out well. You say that it started long before we began burning fossil fuels for energy. The planet started to go through a warming phase because the planet, as long as it's been around for a very long time, has cooled, it's warmed. One retort that I have seen to that is the admission from them. It starts with the admission from them that, yes, the Earth did begin warming sometime in the 1700s, but they say it accelerated in that warming greatly in the late 1800s when we started burning fossil fuels. And they say that is the evidence that, yeah, we're in a warming trend, but fossil fuels are exacerbating this problem of climate change and warming. What's your response to that?
Well, look, their theory is that every emission warms and drives more warming of the planet. Now, I live in Washington, D.C., and in the middle of this cold snap, actually all winter, it's been colder than it was 150 years ago. Now, how do you explain that if every emission causes warming and drives more warming, plus we have the urban heat island effect, all the concrete, asphalt, waste heat, which permanently drives up temperature? Where is all that? Well, of course, it doesn't exist. The bottom line is that, between the poles, 60 degrees north, 60 degrees south latitude, where 99.99% of people live, there's been essentially no global warming. So I don't know how they explain that. They can't. Their whole hoax is just falling apart.
It's interesting. Alex, I've thought about this a number of different ways, and I'll admit I've been captivated by arguments on a lot of different sides of this, but I think the most interesting thing about it is that the people that want you to believe that this is an existential crisis, that all of this energy that we burn in fossil fuels, that it is, and it's said time and time again, but if they want us to believe it, why is it that they burn so much themselves? And you see it with the COP summit, you see it at Davos, you just see that the largest footprints we have are the people screaming the loudest about climate change. And they've got their jets and they've got their multiple homes. If it's really that dire, what the hell are these people doing?
I mean, you get the sense, particularly from some of this stuff, that it's not, they don't think of it as dire as they say that it is. You also see a lot of the people's opinions have shifted now that AI requires a lot of energy. A lot of my former nemesis are now on the pro-fossil fuel train. But I think, they can always say basically, hey, I'm using a little bit of fossil fuel to fly to this conference so that I can ban the rest of you from using a lot of fossil fuel. Now, that's logically consistent. It's just evil because fossil fuels are necessary to do everything good, including fly. So I think the whole world should be able to fly. And if you can come up with something better than fossil fuels, great. But the idea that you're going to go to Davos to starve everyone else, even if it nets out well emissions, that's bad.
Steve, 10 seconds on the hypocrisy from the people that are screaming the loudest.
Well, what can you say? Arnold Schwarzenegger used to commute by private jet to work when he was governor. John Kerry, Al Gore, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris buying a new house in Malibu.
Malibu, yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Good to see you guys. Alex and Steve, thanks so much. Have a good weekend.
Thanks.